You've just entered the law offices of Quibble, Squabble, and Bicker. If you've come for actual legal advice, you need to turn right around, honey. You need to get out of here, 'cause you ain't gonna get none of that. They quibble, and they squabble, and they bicker. But if you want to hear meaningless opinions, this is the right place. They got plenty of that. Stuff that makes no sense at all. They go off on tangents. It's crazy talk. If that's your thing, keep listening. They'll keep talking.
Oh no no, oh no no, it's another episode of the Law Offices of Quibble, Squabble, and Bicker. You've entered the Law Offices of Quibble, Squabble, and Bicker. Yay!
Welcome to another edition of the Law Offices of Quibble, Squabble, and Bicker on St. Patrick's Day, March 17th. Brendan is not with us today because he is Irish, and this is like a national day of respite or at least heavy drinking. So we'll probably see him next week if he survives this year. But for now, you should all know we have this is a moment I've been waiting for a while. We have a great guest. His name is Brad Server, also known as Curly G, and he is the grandson of Curly Howard from the Three Stooges. If you see behind him where he's pointing, there's lots of pictures on the wall. And he'll be helping us as a guest attorney to deal with our client. So our client's name is like Sandwiches Through The Hourglass. That is the name of our client for today. So that being said, let's see if we can get Greg back. Ellipsis,
you can't
I
see
think
me?
is what you want to say.
I can't.
Well, no,
there
we
he
can
is.
see you. You're kind of frozen. I think your Wi-Fi is going funky.
Greg, did you pay your bill?
Yeah, Greg.
I did.
Gregory, how could
I'm
you?
all paid out.
Oh, there you are.
You guys, first of all, I'd like to tell our listeners you should watch this on YouTube because it's uncanny how much Curly G looks like his grandfather, Curly, from the Three Stooges.
I resemble
Except more hair.
Well, thank you. That's a
Better
compliment.
hair.
He's a very good-looking man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So is that your natural voice, Curly G?
No, actually, it's much more boring like this, but I was given the gift of falsetto just like this. It came natural. So that's the voice I use when I'm just being me, being Curly G.
So let's get into the whole controversial part of you and your grandfather, which is just specifically that you didn't know he was your grandfather until a little bit later in life.
Yes. Actually, my mom was 3 when my grandparents divorced, and my mom was 14 when Curly passed away. So we didn't know. Obviously, I was born in 65. Curly passed at an early age of 48 in 1952. So he was young. So we didn't get a chance to meet him. And my mom had been adopted when she was 14 because my grandmother remarried. So that became her everyday father. So it really wasn't discussed with us. In fact, we were like every other kid. We came home every day to watch the Stooges after school. And I think I was 8, I believe, when I found out. So
okay,
Curly was our hero.
So not too late in life, but at 8 years old, finding out suddenly that Curly is your grandfather must have been just freaky.
That's like finding out Mickey Mouse is your nephew or something. That must have been amazing.
Yeah.
Well, I think you found out that Mickey Mouse was your nephew, Greg, then you need to really put yourself in jail.
Yeah, could you have stepped it up a little, Greg? Mickey Mouse, really? And anyways, he's going to be banned pretty soon, too. So, it's just a matter of time.
So you were 8 years old. Were you elated when you found out that Curly was your grandfather?
Well, we were in shock. I was actually my brother and I were living with my dad at the time, and he went to his first Broadway show with my grandmother, Elaine, and it was Fiddler on the Roof, and he loved it. And he just, after the show, he just kept carrying on, Grandma, I want to be an actor. Grandma, I want to be an actor. And so he kept going on with it till finally she said, you know what? Your biological grandfather was Curly from the Three Stooges. That's probably where you get it. But don't say anything when you get home. Just like that.
Don't say anything.
And of course,
you're not going to say anything.
Yeah, I mean, and then what do you do with something like that? I mean, your heroes become your family in an instant.
Yeah.
And, no one's going to believe you. And you really, it's the friends you came home with to watch the Stooges. Now you're going to go to school the next day and say, oh, by the way, Curly's my grandfather. I just found out. So it was kept very low key from the standpoint of telling people, and then also because my mother basically had moved on with her life. Curly was, like I said, she was 14 when he passed. So that really, Curly wasn't a big part of her life, a very small part.
Well, it's
and
kind
it
of a tender age,
obviously
though.
A very small part of our life as well.
Yeah, but it's kind of a tender age to lose your father, though, I would think. I mean, at 14, yeah, I mean, that has
exactly. And then having my grandfather that I knew, his name was Mo.
Oh.
Hey, wait a second. We got a trend here. I have a grandfather named Curly, a grandfather named Mo, and had my grandmother remarried again to a man named Larry, my grandparents would have been Mo, Larry, Curly.
Do you have a dog named Shemp?
Oh.
Dog named Shemp,
Hey,
a hamster
don't
named.
get carried away with that Shemp stuff. You know, he's my second favorite.
And then a hamster named Curly Joe, and
Curly Joe. You mentioned Curly Joe in this room. Why I oughta? I love Curly Joe.
Yeah.
Those guys get a bad rap. Now, as a kid, and I had a very unbiased opinion because I didn't even know Curly was my grandfather. Curly was my favorite. Shemp was my second. Then Mo, then Larry, and the other Curlies I hated. I thought they were terrible because they weren't curly, right?
Right. Yeah, of course.
But then when you become an adult and you look at things in a much broader picture, those other two Curlies kept the Stooges going late into the 70s. So they kept the act alive, and that's a true testament to how great they really were as actors. They weren't curly. They weren't Curly Howard, but they were Curlies, and they kept Mo and Larry doing the shows, like I said, 1973, 75, something like that.
So you found out when you were about 8 years old, and
so you liked
both Mo and Larry died like in 75 or 76.
1978, something like that.
Yeah. So did you ever get an opportunity to connect? I mean, because Mo would have been your great uncle.
Exactly.
He would have still been alive.
One of the biggest, a big regret. Now, it's not a regret for me because I didn't even get a chance. My brother got a chance to go to the motion picture hospital and meet them. My brother Darren's about 5 years older, so he got a chance to meet him, but I didn't. And when I look back on some of the, obviously not being able to, being told when I was younger, but not being able to meet Mo and Larry and find out more about Curly, and just they were my heroes too. Kind of bites.
Yeah,
I wouldn't want to meet Mo though. Mo seemed very violent. I'd be afraid to meet Mo. He'd start beating me up and slapping me and poking me and stuff.
That's what Mo's do.
All of them. Anyone.
Really, do it too. Boing.
So you liked Mo. Oh, I was saying, you said you like Mo more than Larry. What did you like about Mo? He was such a bastard. On the Three Stooges. Not real life.
He was the boss. I just was intrigued by how he kept. He was the main man. He was in charge of the group. So I loved Curly's boyish charm, but I also liked the way Mo just took care of business. And he got the business. Out of all the Stooges, Mo got hurt more than any of them during the shorts. A lot of people don't know that. He took a lot of the punishment. Yeah.
Huh.
So.
But
Dan, you were asking about my brother.
Right, because is he known as Curly Other G?
No.
Has he become an actor like he demanded after that Broadway show? Okay.
He actually did. He actually pursued acting at a young age. He was in all the high school plays, got the lead roles, went to a scholarship to San Francisco State as an actor. Then he just kept pursuing it. He was Oscar in 42nd Street that toured all of the U.S. He was plays a piano player by trade. Now he's a musical director. He sings and dances. Very talented, much more talented than me.
And now he's known as
Curly
X.
Good looks or this high pitch.
So at what point in your life did you go, I'm going to carry on my grandfather's legacy to some extent? Because you were, I believe you were in sales, correct?
Correct.
So this became a thing.
Yeah, so in sales, it's all about personality, right? You want to be different than the other guy if you're selling commodities. So I always had something, obviously my personality was outgoing. I had something a little different, but the closer was, oh, and by the way, I'm Curly's grandson with Three Stooges. And if you give me that big contract, I'll get you a book and I'll sign it for you. So I did use it. I used it to my advantage when I needed to, when it was smart. But it really was let's see, 2008. I think I went to my first Three Stooge convention with my brother in Fort Washington, Pennsylvania. That's usually on the East Coast. It's in the Pennsylvania area.
As a representative of the family, or just going to
yes,
experience
we
it?
came as representatives, and
Got
there
it,
was
okay.
Moe's children. And there again, I had met Moe's daughter once when I was 30 years old. Now this was closer to when I was 40. So there again, part of the, the keeping everything quiet and growing up, I didn't even get a chance to meet my relatives, the Stooge children, until I started going to these events, and they were great. I mean, not only seeing, Shemp's grandchildren, Moe's children, grandchildren, but the fans are just incredible, just lifelong diehard Three Stooge fans. And it was amazing. And that's really what brought me in.
Which Stooge had the hottest daughters? Like, who's your hottest cousin you discovered?
You know what? I don't know where you're coming from. Where do you live?
I'm not saying you.
What state do you live in, young man?
Not Arkansas. I live in Oregon.
Very bad mental state.
Oregon? Oh, that must be from that, wiki weed or something you're smoking. Anyways, I don't talk about my relatives that way, but we're all very good looking.
That's what I was asking.
You'd actually be surprised who the best looking one is. And I won't mention her name.
Greg was asking because he's trolling for dates.
Yeah.
Well, no, you ain't gonna be part of this family. I like it, Greg, but no.
Greg, you've suddenly become the Joe Besser of this podcast.
They kicked me off of Twitter. Tinder, so I have to do other things on the Zoom to meet women.
I'm starting to feel sorry for you. I might let Greg date someone in my family. I'm just not sure yet. What do you think about peekapoos or Maltese? Because like Curly, I've got 3 dogs, I've got 3 cats, and we have love for animals, and maybe
I'm fluid. My sexuality is very fluid.
Fluid. Oh,
yeah.
So is my litter box. Yeah.
But I'm bummed.
Greg would gladly change that for you, I guess.
Greg, I'm not going to be mean to you. That'll be Matt's job from now on.
It always has been.
I like
mean.
you.
I am not mean.
I like
at least that's what I want to believe.
The Stooge conventions are what brought me to understand how important the Stooges were to other people. And then I started realizing what I could bring to the table, which was, especially social media, building relationships with the fans, reaching out to them, seeing them every year. And then it just, it kind of went from there.
I gotcha. And so you started doing your own content on YouTube. You've got I think 27,000 subscribers now. That's pretty.
Yeah, hopefully after this podcast, I'll have 27,002 subscribers.
If you're lucky.
I might be underestimating it a little bit.
You might be overestimating it a little bit. But
I might get you too. I was hoping I was going to get both of you.
Oh, well, I'll subscribe to you. So yeah, that'll work. You'll get me.
And it's Curly's grandson, Curly G, anyways.
St. Patrick's Day, we would have to
I expect a quid pro quo, though.
What do you want, Greg? What are you expecting from him? A date with his dog?
I want a date of a Stooge granddaughter.
Really? Okay. Well, I'll send you a list of the ones that are available.
And have them all reject you soundly.
This should have just been like my childhood, and we should have never told Greg who I was related to during this whole interview.
He would have just been wondering about the pictures behind you.
Oh.
I'd be like, wow, he's a big fan, huh?
He likes the Stooges.
Well, yeah, the 3 right there, my grandmother's with the Stooges, and the one right above Curly's head, that's my grandmother Elaine with the boys, and then to the right is my grandmother Elaine. My grandmother Elaine showing off her engagement ring. It's right there, and the rest are just some Stooge pics, that I get from Shop Knuckleheads. Is the superstore for all things Stooges. If you need anything Three Stooges, any memorabilia, you go to Shop Knuckleheads.
Greg, that's like a perfect place for you.
I should be a clerk there.
You could be.
A clerk. That might be a good occupation for you.
You might even find a family member just lying around. Yeah, not lying around.
Just lying around. That's what they do. They just take all the corpses around there and there's another one.
Yeah, see, we told you this was a dark show.
It's only dark because
the light's darker by the moment.
Losing light. It's because we don't have Brendan here to keep things sane.
Let's lighten things up. I'm curious, do you have a particular favorite Three Stooge short or film? What's your favorite?
Disorder in the Court is my favorite. Do you remember that one?
Barely. The titles I always get.
Greg, you need to be fully transparent regarding your
Yeah, if
opinion
he's
of the
going to
Three
be part of the
Stooges.
family, you might want to brush up on your Stooges.
Okay,
Especially
Curly.
the most
Curly, I
popular.
gotta admit something to you. You're definitely not gonna let me date a family member. I didn't want to say this.
Oh, and then the Wi-Fi went out right when he was
Yeah, I
getting
think what he
honest.
said was, I don't really care for the Stooges, or I didn't, and that's absolutely okay. But we're gonna have to let you go now, Greg.
We'll have to let him go because he sounded like a Scottish robot.
Yeah, at least lie about it.
Well, I was making him be transparent.
Yeah,
That was my fault.
But then Matt wanted me to.
Yeah, I didn't find this out till about 10 minutes before the show.
Yeah.
So I figured we had to like
And-
drag it out of him since he didn't know Disorder in the Court.
Do you notice the
I
ray
did
of
like
light?
Curly,
The
though.
ray of light
Curly.
that's coming in from above?
Yes.
Those are the boys, and they're not too happy with Greg right now.
It's
Curly.
showing that Brad is the chosen one and you are not, Greg.
No. So,
Though I did
Where were
like
we?
Curly's personality, you know, the few clips I saw, I did love his childlike quality. I always did like,
Yeah.
he was very endearing. But the shorts in a whole, I just never laughed at that much. I think it's my problem. Every guy I know loved the Stooges. So I feel like I'm lacking testosterone or a certain chromosome. I know it's my problem.
well, you know what? Actually, it's everyone's problem now because we can take care of it as America. We're going to take care of your problem. George,
Can
have you
Shop
not been-
Knucklehead help me?
Yeah, George.
No. The U.S. government's going to take care of it. Don't worry, just wait.
Take care of the Three Stooges problem.
They're going to send me
Yeah.
videotapes, part of the stimulus. Send me Three Stooges movies, DVDs.
Yeah.
I have a really odd request for you because I know you do some of your grandfather's sound effects and whatnot with your content. So I've got a list of a whole bunch of them, and I was wondering if you could do them as Curly G, one after the other. I'll just say them and then you just speak them, and you can ad lib off of that if you want. If you don't mind me turning into kind of a performing monkey of a sort.
Yeah, that's fine.
You're good. Okay, good. So initially we have nyuk, 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 which is I guess
Yuck. See?
perfect.
Perfect.
Then woob, woob, woob.
Whoop, 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 whoop.
Okay, good. La di or la la la.
La-dee-dee, la-da-da, la-da-dee.
Then we have
That's my favorite.
nya ah ah.
Yeah.
There we go. I sound like that in the bathroom sometimes. Rough, rough.
Vroom, vroom.
All right, I like that one. Ha cha cha. Oh, it's Jimmy Durante. Okay.
Ah-cha-cha-cha, yeah. Hey, Mo.
23 Skidoo.
I'm a victim of circumstance.
Circumstance.
Certainly.
Certainly.
I'll moiter you.
I'm moiety.
I like that one too. Huff, huff, huff.
What is that? Huffy's
sh-
not good.
sharp-
No.
Sharp.
No, Matthew. I will not huff in public.
Glue sniffing was our marriage episode, so yeah, we're not going to do that.
Oh.
So it's sharp huffing exhales either due to excitement or meant to provoke a foe. So maybe it's that one. Okay. And then in his later years, he went ah ba 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 ba.
Ah, ba, 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 ba. That sounds like heaven. Ah, I don't know that one.
It's sort of a nonsense, high-pitched yelling that signified being scared or overly excited. Then we have indubitably, and then his teeth, while chattering nervously, made the sound of a small hammer striking a chisel. I don't know how that one would work. Oh, a wise guy. I remember that one well.
Oh, a wise guy.
Yes.
Oh, no.
Oh, look.
Oh, look.
And then say a few syllables. They would usually say that to Mo.
Say a few syllables. Mo. A-E-I-O-U. Boink.
All right.
Okay,
well,
once again,
thank
to
you
our
for indulging
listeners.
my
Yeah,
insanity.
Yeah,
that
that
was
was
a lot of
great,
fun.
Curly G. Thanks. But you guys, can I just say once again, watch us on YouTube because better than that sounded. The facial expressions were exactly like Curly.
So it was that
It
was
was
a nice
amazing.
way of you saying I didn't sound very good. I like it. It's like telling your date that she has a great personality. That's why
I'm saying you did both good. I want the full experience. They'll be able to hear
I'm
you.
my
as
biggest
well.
critic. I'm not real impressed with myself. But I'm not even drunk yet. Hold on, guys.
We encourage squabbling here, just not with yourself.
My favorite is the
beer. Make sure
you take the cap off.
It's a Curly Light.
It couldn't tell in the light because the Curly Light.
Whoa!
His own beer. Are you going to get your own, like a bitter?
Curly. I would like to. I'd like to have my own sports bar called Curly G's and have my own blend. Absolutely.
Yeah, or maybe like some kind of a dark beer like Guinness or something.
Yeah.
So it'd be like Curly G, but G stands for Guinness.
I'm kind of a wuss. I'll tell the world because I know this is going to be going worldwide.
Yes.
I drink Bud Light.
Okay. Well, I don't have a problem with that.
Yeah.
I'm not a beer snob. I don't care. I mean, we're in Oregon, where it's like the home of the beer snobs, but I don't really care.
That's okay.
But both Greg and I actually aren't from Oregon anyway. We both emigrated here from the East Coast.
I figured that out. I'm not sure why. Was it your area code?
Was it the accent?
Yeah, you sound very East Coast. Oh boy, do you?
I'm outside New York City, 914 area code. Where are you from, Curly G? Where do you live now?
I'm born and raised in California, here in the Los Angeles area. So
that's why the sunlight's coming through your window.
The sunlight's killing me. Yeah, let's move this around.
Okay, we're traveling. We're traveling to a different part.
My job.
Now it's just my body that's up. That's okay. You just want to see my head, anyways.
Well, I don't know. Print.
Like
you have a nice sunscreen
before,
print
if you wanted to go naked, we can see the body.
Really? In the buff, eh?
But just from the chest up.
Yes, of course.
Yeah. So you never got to meet any of the uncles, or any of the great uncles, I mean, but you've met a number of the families. So let's just say, as opposed to Greg's question of which one is the most physically attractive, which one are you get along with the best, and which that maybe has gone with you on your Curly G adventures the most?
Shemp's family is absolutely wonderful. All of them, the granddaughters, the great granddaughter. I get along with them best, and they live in my area, so I'm able to see them. Some of the other Stooge family members live either on the East Coast. Larry's great grandson, wonderful guy, and most children obviously are older. They're in their late 80s, early 90s, and their grandchildren I don't see, but I've met them quite a few times, and they're spectacular as well.
Has anyone ever connected to the unknown Stooge brothers families, the two older brothers, Irving and Jack?
Irving and Benjamin. No, I don't. I never have. What a bad nephew or whatever I am. I don't even know what I am. I'm repulsed by me. You know what? I know.
And suddenly we've become a BDSM show, and I don't even know how that happened.
Well, no, I'm so disgusted with myself that I might even sleep with Greg. I mean,
Greg,
you're not getting any of the other family members. You're getting me.
Curly, don't get to that level. You're better than that.
You know what? Now that I open my eyes, you're right. Forget it. Off the table.
So Greg, normally your signal is much stronger.
Curly G.
I don't know what's going on with you today.
Yeah, I'm sucking a signal.
Yeah.
Curly G, are you familiar with this old sketch on SCTV where it was Curly sings the great new movie themes, and it was John Candy doing all like the Thomas Crown Affair and the Godfather theme in that voice? You're just going like,
I think so. Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
That cracked me up so much as a little boy. You got to watch it if you never saw it. It's hilarious.
We were thinking about. He was going to do a little something like that too, with some movie themes in the lobby.
I want you to.
And then
I want you to sing
the title scrolling up as I'm doing it in the background. Yeah, very cool.
I want you to sing the theme from Star Wars in that voice.
Ooh. The theme from Star Wars. I can do this. The theme from The Grandfather.
That's it.
That's from The Grandfather.
Anyways, hey, wait, let me make some adjustments. Whoa, hey, I'm sorry, people.
Yeah, you're getting blinded by your Venetian blinds.
Blinded by the light.
Blinded by the blinds.
Oh, do that song now.
I got this.
Do what song now?
Blinded
by the light. The Springsteen song.
You don't have to sing this.
Yeah, he isn't our performing monkey, Greg. We're just
I know.
taking the advantage of him for doing that. He's a very pleasant man, and you're being perverse. So
who walked in the room? Oh, you're talking about me?
Yes.
That's so sweet of you. Thank you.
Yes, the self-deprecating man that is on the show with us, who doesn't happen to be with the other self-deprecating men, who also have giant egos and are narcissists. But, you know, it's a weird combination of things, how those things work. I wanted to talk a little bit about your heritage. So I know that the Howard family, they were Jewish people. And did that transfer into your current life as well? Were you raised Jewish too?
Hey, my wife just walked in. You guys want to say hi to Mrs. G?
Yeah, sure.
Sure.
I thought you were saying
you pop your face in and say hi to
a couple of unknown people.
These guys. It's Greg and Matt. See, there's Mrs. G.
Hello. Oh, you're beautiful. Does he always say bad things about himself?
No, never to me.
It's a light.
Okay.
Look at it. It's like the Stooges are looking down upon me in the light of them. And
I had a feeling he was actually probably a really good guy and is just saying bad things about himself to be funny. So it's good to know.
Oh, he does say a lot of bad things about me to be funny, but not about himself. Bye, guys.
All right, nice to meet you.
Bye. Nice to meet you.
Wow, the truth came out.
Wow. So, anyways,
that's Mrs. G.
No, Kobe's good. That's Mrs. G. Hey, what's up? What's up?
Next time we'll go for Social Security numbers. So again, I was asking if you were raised in the Jewish faith.
Oh,
yeah,
you were asking me that. Hold
Yeah.
on, I'm. Someone just. Oh, that's why she was being nice. I just got a chase alert that she just spent money at the store.
Oh, I would chase an alert for that too.
Yeah.
Was always raised. I'd never been to temple except for when I went to someone's bar mitzvah. So I never was raised in the traditional Jewish religion. I always celebrated Christmas. So I consider myself a Jew for Jesus.
Okay.
Basically.
Got it.
I enjoy all faiths, actually. My brother practiced Buddhism. And
that's a popular religion these days, actually.
Yeah.
You know, people are actually getting fake booties put in. So
yeah. So yeah, I kind of I take them all in, not all the booties. I take all the religions in.
Well, the reason I ask this is there's a very specific reason, because it has to deal with our client, which our client is, as you recall, like Sandwiches Through the Hourglass.
Yes.
So, you know, one of the most popular sandwiches that's out there is the Reuben, which is very indigenous to the Jewish culture, as well as many other sandwiches involving corned beef and what have you. So I was wondering if you would know of other very popular sandwiches that are associated with these others. For example, do you think there's one that's heavily connected to Buddhism? Like which sandwich?
Tina Turner.
The Tina
Turner sandwich.
That would be connected to Buddhism.
Well, yes, because she was a Buddhist. That's what saved her from Ike. Ike was beating her. She started Buddhism, chanting "Yam yo regekyo, yam yo regekyo," and all this positive energy. Next thing you know, Ike's gone. She's a trillionaire, and that's why that's a great sandwich.
So what's in that sandwich?
Tina Turner?
Huh?
What's in it? What's in the Tina Turner sandwich?
Soul, baby, soul.
Soul, like
soul food sandwich.
It's a fish sandwich, is what he's saying, Greg. Soul.
Yeah, filet soul.
That's amazing.
Okay,
I'm hungry.
We should probably discuss like all of the different religions as to what sandwiches would be associated with them. This is a very interesting take on where we could go with this.
Christianity, Protestantism is easy. It's just like white bread, Wonder Bread with mayonnaise on it.
There's got to be something else. There's probably a piece of bologna on there.
Yeah.
Bologna, American cheese, and you're set.
Yeah, processed American
This
cheese.
subject is getting kind of full of baloney. Did you not read the fine print when I agreed to do this? No politics, no religion.
Oh,
But you can talk about sandwiches all you want.
Okay,
no
well,
Buddhism.
I'm
right.
just
Well,
Yeah.
I'm like, suddenly it got really serious about sandwiches.
Mm.
So, all
But
right.
you're
So,
a client. I'm thinking about the hourglass right now. And it's not half empty or it's half full. It's available. They're
It's-
open right now. Can you tell people where to get that great sandwich?
which one?
All of them.
Get them all at your local
Subway?
supermarket and buy the ingredients you need and create them
No,
yourself.
we're talking about your sponsor. Why would you send them to the market when you're supposed to be talking about your sponsor?
Oh no, we don't have a sponsor. It's our client. It's the person we're representing. Is the client? That's who we're representing
Well,
as the client. And you are
Not a particular
you are a
sandwich place.
guest. You're a guest attorney to help this particular client.
I didn't
Like-
read the format.
It's okay. We don't really read it either. It's
Yeah.
the general concept. For those of you out there who've been wondering what the hell we've been doing this whole time since last year, is that our client is the topic that we discuss. So we
Oh.
call it the client, as in this is the person we're
I
representing.
get it. I get it.
Right. So the client, you are the guest counsel as Curly G. So
I feel sorry for your client.
people generally do.
Hmm.
Most
Yeah,
of the time,
we
the
occasionally
client
do.
gets
We-
short shrift. We go off topic. We talk about different things. This is one of those great moments as well, where we're talking about the
Yeah.
client.
But if you ever did get a sponsor, I'm a good person to have on your show because look how I'm plugging it for you.
Yeah.
Ooh. Greg, put it away.
Yeah.
What kind of sandwich is that, Greg?
Hmm.
The plug sandwich.
Hey.
What sandwich? Plug.
The one that
What's your
involves-
favorite sandwich, Curly G, of all sandwiches ever
All
made?
of
Sure,
them.
you know, Reuben is one of my favorite, and I like it either with corned beef or with pastrami, sauerkraut, Thousand Island, a little mustard.
Thousand
Good.
Island or
Oh.
Russian dressing, which is supposed to be how it's supposed to be done is with Russian dressing,
Russian.
not Thousand Island.
Yes. Sorry.
Yeah.
I don't mind it with Thousand Island though.
Yeah, I don't mind it
If
either.
it's Bob's Thousand Island, Bob's Big Boy Thousand Island.
Can you do Reuben tater tots? Have you tried those yet? At the Jewish delis now, they have tater tots smothered in pastrami,
Oh wow.
Thousand Island dressing, and sauerkraut.
Oh yeah, there's a nice
Sounds
deli here
wonderful.
in Portland that actually has those, which are pretty good.
Kenny and
Is
Zooks.
there really
shout
anything
out.
left in Portland? I mean, I told you we weren't going to talk politics, but
Oh, it's been razed to the ground. There's actually no buildings left, no
Yeah.
people. It's just completely flat.
There's
Yeah, they
nothing
didn't do
behind
it
that
justice on the news. I mean, the news they played it easy. You know, in reality, it's all gone. All that's left are the suburbs.
that's what I heard.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
No, I mean just gone. It was like
I-
flattened. We actually, let a nuclear weapon go off, and
Are you being a little flappy with me right now?
I think he is.
No,
getting a
I'm-
flippity
I'm
You think
flap.
telling-
I'm ignorant?
I'm telling you the
Ooh.
absolute truth.
One building gone is one too many in my book. And I'm sure the people of Portland, they respect that about me. You make mockery of it.
Markery?
Speaking of mockery, how about one of those sandwiches?
That would be a mackerel sandwich
Oh, ew.
changed to a markerel to mockery,
Nasty.
switching it all, or it's a mock sandwich. So it looks like a sandwich. It's not really a sandwich.
Oh yeah.
Greg, what would that be? What would be a
It's a
sandwich that
sandwich.
looks like a sandwich but isn't a sandwich? I'm just testing Greg's
Mock
Wi-Fi because his
sandwich?
face was frozen again. Oh no, he's a Scottish robot
No,
once
'cause
again. Greg, this is unacceptable. You need to
Oh,
do something
Greg.
about this.
It's because Paddy's
Sunspots.
Day in Scotland's near
I'm
sunspots.
taking a water break.
Squats. Squats?
Just let me know
I'm
when
taking a bourbon
Greg's
break.
back. Oh,
Yeah,
there's
I know.
Greg.
Well, Greg is
Oh.
drinking from his. What is on that cup anyway, Greg?
It's a 30-year-old University of Arizona Wildcats big gulp that is faded and become modern art. It's become a
It's modern
abstract
art.
painting. Yes.
I think you should. Do you sell stickers, Curly G, of like your face or anything?
Yes, I do. I'm at the Teespring site.
Okay.
Teespring. I have a store it's got stickers. It's got tote bags. It's got sweatshirts.
Greg, you need to get onto Teespring and get one of his stickers and put it on that cup that you're drinking from.
Oh,
So
well,
it's-
you can buy mugs too. My mug.
Well, no, it's just that his has a really big one. Obviously, it must be something that's dear to his heart since he's had it for 30 years. So
No, it's just because I'm cheap. I'm too cheap to buy another one. And it's huge. It can fit a lot of bourbon in it.
Yeah.
A lot of bourbon or Holocaust whiskey, as some people call it.
Or Brighto. Brighto fixes everything.
Where can you get Brighto these days?
You can get Brighto on my site. You can buy a Brighto shirt. Brighto with Curly G.
Your great uncle Mo, did he create the term knucklehead? Or was that in the parlance at the time, or he created that word?
I don't know who created that word. I'm no historian, and I'll tell you the fans that I meet at the shows know everything about where everything came from. I just know where I came from, and that was my mama's bread box. Yeah. Oh, that's a sandwich.
From knucklehead to knuckle sandwich, which is what perhaps.
Yes.
You know, you wonder where the term knuckle sandwich came from. Is like at some point, did somebody actually get like pig knuckles or something and put them between a couple of slices of bread and make a sandwich out of that?
And then he hit someone with it, with his fist.
Maybe
that. I don't think, no. I think everyone that's watching this, listening to this, and even myself is less intelligent for even thinking about that.
We do promote the fact that IQ points will go down a little bit after listening to this particular show. Did you know, Greg, that not only is he older than us, but he's also better looking than us? And that's
Shut up. He's older than me?
Yes, he's older than you.
You look young enough to be my son, Curly G.
I was born in 1965.
He's older than me, 50, Greg.
55.
What?
Well, I guess he and I are the same age at this moment, but it sounds like he'll be hitting 56 later on this year.
In May.
That's nuts. You're looking good, my friend.
Thank you. It's the Mrs. G keeps me young and fit. Right? And I'm not talking about when we hit the hay either.
You're talking about she puts you on a treadmill.
But it's the Howard bloodline. That's why Greg can't be involved in this conversation. But the Howards really keep their youth, and the women are gorgeous, and the men are gorgeous.
That's who I want. I want a Howard.
You see my brother, my sister. We're all gorgeous. It's the Grand Stooges.
Oh yeah, I tried to go onto that website. Does that still exist? The Grand Stooges?
Yeah.
Yeah, it wouldn't come on for some reason.
You hacked it, did you?
No, yeah, I hacked it. No, I typed in
www.thegrandstooges.com.
Is it the Grand Stooges?
Yes.
Okay.
Did you go to the dark web for that, Matt?
Yeah, the dark web. I turned the lights off so that I could see it. Anyway, so yeah.
It's the Grand Stooges.
It's just not coming up for whatever reason. That's very
well.
Have the Grand Stooges ever thought about getting together and making like recreations of shorts or new Stooges short type shorts?
Not with my brother, my sister. Now they're very talented. Like I said, my sister's a cappella singer. She's very talented. My brother's doing his thing. My buddies, and we were talking about this. We talked about this an hour ago or something. You had asked about starting to do the videos that I do on my YouTube channel, Curly's grandson. And it was the 2012 Stooges movie that the Farrelly brothers wrote with Mike Cerrone. Shortly after that, a gentleman reached out to me named Andy Pagana, and he sent me a link of his tryout for Curly, and actually came in second to Will Sasso. And him and I became extremely good friends. He's a he's a producer, he's a writer, he's a cameraman, he's everything all built in one. And he has such a liking for Abbott Costello, the Marx Brothers, Three Stooges, and Curly is one of his idols, that we become great fans. And that's who does all of the genius behind the videos I'm in. I just get slapped around, which I thoroughly enjoy, right? I'm built for it.
It is a BDSM show today.
Yeah, he writes the material, he shoots the material, he's a great actor. So I met a lot of great people, and Andy was the nucleus. And then later on, it was about 2018, 19, we took the Three Stooges live on the road, which was incredible. We actually did Three Stooges shorts, but they were live with music, dancing, music. It was music, like musical singing, and it was amazing. And our guy that plays Mo, Chris Dermick, is amazing. Our Larry's, Danny. We had a great cast. But it went on a hiatus. Is that what you call it? We went on a little hiatus.
Yeah. So it's been just for a few months or a few years, the hiatus.
We were on the road for like 4 months, and then I don't, things happen.
Did that affect your sales job by going on the road for 4 months?
No, because it was the best. It was weekends, so I'd take Friday off, maybe a Friday, and then we do weekends and just kill it.
So have you created like your own fan base? Do you have people that just come up and go, I know you, like they know you better than they know your grandfather?
No, I've had a couple weird incidents where I've been out to eat and someone would approach the table and say, we were just kind of looking over and you look a lot like Curly from the Three Stooges. I know that's weird. I'm like, oh, it's not weird. It's my grandfather. And they're like, all of a sudden they turn like white. They're all, no, it's okay.
And then they vomit on you and you're like, that was my dinner.
Yeah. But no, Curly G, no. But I sell shirts too. So I've seen people wearing my shirt. I've seen it before. So that's kind of nice.
So the first time you saw that, did it feel a little bit weird, surreal in a certain way? Like somebody's wearing my shirt that I don't even know.
No.
Or you
I'm
just
a
welcome,
narcissist.
You welcome the adulation.
I'm self-centered. I'm a narcissist. I don't care about people. No, that is not me.
That was like 3 episodes ago.
It's an honor. It's an honor and a blessing to be the grandson. So all of it comes with just praise. I'm stoked.
Did you practice the voice a lot growing up? Whenever you found out your father, or did you? No,
it just came later. It wasn't until I told you when I started when I was in my 40s when I went, oh. I'm like, oh, I guess that kind of is cool. I never tried to imitate my grandfather, and I try not to imitate him now. It's just when I go into that register, it reminds people of Curly, but it's me just being me. Yeah. With a little twist of Curly.
And I kind of appreciated that too, because I've watched a number of the clips on your YouTube page. Mm-hmm. And I like the fact that you're not actually trying to be him.
No.
You're just of him.
Yes.
And that I think makes for really the best tribute of all by doing that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. And in this world where, you have, with so many views, you get a lot of people that make a lot of comments, right? So you would think, especially with the love of the Stooges, that I would get at least maybe 1%, 2%, 5% of like just people saying, you're a joke, you've disgraced the Stooges. I get less than none percent. Very rarely do I get people that, say anything negative. It's all very positive. And that's what keeps it going. I mean, that's why I do this, because it's making people think of the Stooges, and I'm making people laugh.
Yeah, I totally appreciate your demeanor when you do them, because you're always talking about how it's your grandfather and you're not him. Right. And so I think you handle it really well, but that's probably the salesman in you that's been able to translate that, because obviously you must be a very talented salesperson as well, that you can do this as like a side gig.
Correct.
So you just like.
Well, I'm hoping,
what do you sell? Do you sell like sandwiches?
No. Why would I cut in on our client?
I'm just wondering.
No competition.
Okay.
Thank you for buying into that weird device.
Yes, I design and sell satellite systems and cable systems for cable companies and for properties. So I take a little satellite dish. I sell the equipment, and someone calls me and says, I have a 5,000 room hotel. How do I get the signal to all the TVs in all the rooms? So I can do that very quickly. And then I do it like, hey, what are you wearing? I can't do that anymore because of the governor in New York. I got to really watch what I say. But just in this, very crazy way I do business, and it's been successful for me, and I enjoy it.
So maybe we can get you to set up better Wi-Fi in Greg's crappy apartment.
Absolutely. I can think of a ton of people that can go in there and take care of it.
It's like, we're going to set you up, Greg.
Take care of it.
This has never happened before.
Oh, can you see me?
It's true, though. We've been doing He's never had. It's always been our co-host in Florida that would occasionally get the Wi-Fi issues, and his got fixed. But this is the first time actually that it's ever gone bad for Greg. That's
Yeah.
what's very surprising about this. Are you doing something unnatural? Did you like pull out a Ouija board or something, Greg? What's going on there, man?
Yeah, I'm doing a satanic ritual right now with a goat. And
Are
it
you
might
watching
be-
the Marx Brothers? You son of a baby face.
You love
Son of a
you love
baby.
the Marx Brothers, don't you?
You son of a baby.
Yeah, I think "son of a baby" is a great term to use for insulting people because everybody who's a son is the son of a baby, even though it's a very much
Doesn't have the
older
oomph
baby.
of son of a bitch though.
No, but that's kind of overused, don't you think?
Not for me. I like to use it
That's
for
not
usually
nice to
happy
all the
things.
moms out there. You
Yeah.
watch your mouth, both of you boys.
No,
Hey,
you don't know
I
my
said
mom.
"son of a baby."
You don't know my mom. She's horrible. She's a bitch.
I can
No, I'm
only
kidding.
Greg. Your
just
sister's
make-
gonna watch this, Greg.
I
She's
know,
gonna come
but-
after you.
I'm joking, obviously. No, she might agree. Sometimes she can be a little bitchy.
You know what?
You need to show
So
some
can-
respect,
So can
Greg.
Mrs. G. So can Mrs. G. Oh, nothing, baby. I'll be upstairs in a minute.
See, and if she had a son, that son would be the son of a baby because he just called her a baby.
She's got two sons.
See?
Those are my son. Those are my son of a babies.
So your sons,
You hope.
you've got two
And I
sons
have-
of a baby.
We didn't talk about my beautiful daughter,
No.
Well, that's
Elizabeth.
because you
Eli-
don't want Greg to know about her.
No, no, no. My daughter's 21,
Yeah.
and she doesn't like bearded Marx Brother fans.
Grandfather.
My daughter's
She's have a
Elizabeth.
grandfather fetish.
Elizabeth Elaine Server. Elaine's her middle name, named after my grandmother that was married to Curly. See,
Okay.
so she's getting ready to go to. She just is graduating junior college and ready to go to a four-year college, and I'm hoping that it's going to be close because I don't want her to leave. If you know what I mean.
Well, right now she can't because of the pandemic. She's stuck in California.
Yeah.
Well, and what about your other kid? You said you have two kids.
No, he has three, two sons and one daughter.
Oh,
I got two
sons.
stepsons, but I don't.
Oh,
We don't like to
stepsons.
use that word "step" here.
Yeah.
I have two wonderful sons from my wife's side, and I have my daughter Elizabeth.
Now, is it
So the
a
three of
daughter
us.
that you had with your current wife?
No, I had her
Interesting.
from some crazy lady.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Understand. Greg doesn't understand families because he
Well,
is
When you call your
asexual.
mother a bitch, that's not really understanding
Yeah.
family very well.
Definitely.
I refuse to create my own family. I refuse.
And most people are actually happy about the fact that Greg is
Oh,
not
yeah.
procreated.
That's why I didn't. For the common courtesy to the rest of the planet, I figured nobody wants my genes disseminating.
I think you'd make wonderful babies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Tar
you're,
babies.
you're into sci-fi.
Oh, that's Norman. I know that guy, Norman Mauer.
You do, yes.
Norman Mauer is great. He did all the Three Stooges comics in the 50s, and he married a stooge, right? Or his wife. Wait.
He was
He had
married
some
to
relation
Moe's
to the
daughter.
Stooges.
You said he married a stooge.
Yes, he married Moe's daughter.
He married,
Yes,
I thought you were going to say he
Yes.
married Mo.
Norman
he
Mauer.
married Joan, my auntie
And you know-
Joan. Yes.
Here's
So
Very
how do you
well,
know this
yeah.
guy, Greg?
He's a comic artist, but here's a little trivia. I'm sure Curly G knows this. Norman Mauer not only had all the Stooge comic licenses because of his wife, but he also made the first 3D comic in America, featuring first it was Mighty Mouse, and the second one was Three Stooges. They were in the
Wow.
second 3D comic.
Very well
he
done.
created that.
Greg, very well done.
For someone who didn't
kinda-
like the Stooges, that's kind of funny that he would
I
know that
actually have those
information.
comics.
That's
3D
amazing.
ones, with the glasses I have, and I love them. Good comics.
Matt, you got to keep Greg around now. I'm sorry. He
just for my
he hit it out of
comics
the park.
trivia.
He
So
really hit it out
you
of the
like
park.
you like the Three Stooges comic books, Greg. So why is it that you're not as a fan of the shorts then?
He's just a really good comic artist, so they're fun. But I don't know. I think I didn't like Mo so much. Mo was such a mean fuck that I didn't want to watch him being mean to those guys all the time. And I did like Curly, and Curly was very sympathetic. And I was like, God, leave Curly alone. It would raise my hackles watching him.
What part of your body are the hackles located?
Right below your testes.
Oh no, I thought he'd go there.
Apparently, he's been there more than once.
When they go low, I go high. Low.
Hello.
I drink a highball.
I think most of the listeners are going somewhere too, like bye bye. No more testicle talk.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, you know,
no more testicle talk.
we have, at the very least, we know we'll have one listener at the end of this, which is his sister.
And then she'll turn off because I called our mother a bitch. So
That's
we
true.
lost her.
You may have lost her, and then all that will be left will be you listening to the show, Greg, talking badly about your mother. Because that's really not okay. So,
Wrong.
Greg, what sandwich did your mother make for you that gives you fond memories as a child?
Oh, she invented a sandwich. She called it the stuffed sandwich, where she would just take this giant loaf of bread, put on every kind of delicious meat and 4 kinds of cheeses, and just bake the shit out of it for like half an hour. Oh my God.
So what were the meats? What were the cheeses? What kind of bread was it?
Every meat, like salami.
Every meat. So it's like donkey,
gabagool,
turtle.
Yes, mock turtle even. But it was so good. But you know, I love sandwiches. Big fan of pretty much all of them. I can't even choose what sandwiches I like more. I ate clam parmesan sandwich.
Clam?
Or chicken parmesan sandwich.
Wait, you said clam parmesan, right?
That's a new one. Eggplant.
Oh, eggplant.
I must have cut outside.
Although clam parmesan has a ring to it. I don't know how that would work. I don't know how often clam is used in marinara sauce.
No,
you could do a shrimp parmesan maybe in like a marinara, because shrimp.
That'd be pretty weird too.
Yeah, it would be kind of weird. Any kind of seafood, I think, in a marinara.
You never told us, Matt. What's your favorite sandwich?
What is usually the sandwiches that I make for myself involve maybe like a sourdough bread, and it's an alternating meat and cheese type sandwich with different like vegetables on it, and then I either grill it or put it in a toaster oven so that the cheese will melt. But I use generally like Swiss, provolone, Gouda, Emmentaler, which is another version of Swiss. Sometimes I'll put blue cheese on, depends upon my mood or what I have handy. Maybe some brie. And the meats that I use would be like roast beef or salami or pepperoni.
Nice. Making me hungry.
Yes. Donkey cheese?
It's donkey cheese. I've never had it, but I tell you, I would try it.
It's got kick.
Does it, Greg?
Sorry, the
donkey cheese has kick.
Sorry, my dog just was hearing all about the meats and cheeses,
I didn't
and just had to go to the bathroom. You missed her. Oh wait, the sun's following me again.
Greg is a Scottish robot again.
Oh, where?
I know. It's like
I'm coming over here.
He can't decide what nationality he is.
No. Imagine if it was like this the whole time.
I think the Stooges are shining down from heaven in anger.
They are. The boys are back.
In anger. At Greg? I don't know about that.
Oh, wait. Did we tell all of your fans that are watching on YouTube how to find my YouTube channel?
Why don't you go ahead? Tell them. Let them know.
They just need to look up Curly G or Curly's grandson, and then subscribe. Ring the little bell for notifications. Ding. Comment.
Do you have new content coming out soon?
We do. You know, the COVID thing really put a dampener on production.
Yes, for so many people. Yeah.
Yes. Andy's putting some stuff together, and he's actually in New York right now, and he's going to be back, I believe, next month. And I'm going to be taking some time off my day job, at least maybe one day a week, to promote doing filming and putting out a lot of new content.
Well, if you need anybody to smack around virtually, you can always look us up on Zoom and go, now is your day. We want to hit you in the face or poke you in the eyes.
Yeah.
And I think Greg would appreciate that the most.
You can't poke me in the eyes, though, because I know the defense.
Oh, very well done.
I know.
So he knows enough. But the glasses also protect you as well.
Stooge martial arts. Oh, yeah.
It doesn't protect you from the fish hook.
Oh.
Or going up the nose.
Or a wrench to the head.
Bomping on the head, exactly. Yeah, and I've seen you get hit with a hammer often, Curly G.
Yes. Yeah. It's, the shoots are sometimes just like 6 hours, 8 hours, or we mix it up in a couple days. But, they're hitting me and stuff. They're like, oh, are you okay? Oh, you're okay. And it's like my grandfather and my great uncles and the rest of the boys took so much punishment for so many years. It's the least I can do. I've come home with concussions, actually, but it's okay. It's okay. It's worth it.
I got it for you, grandfather. I got a concussion for you for what
Yes.
you
You
did
actually
for
had
the
to go to
world.
the hospital?
Yes, actually I did, but I was fine. I took 113 pies on his 113th birthday in one day to the face. That's on YouTube, my channel too. It's quite hilarious. That was one of the
113
first videos.
pies.
113 pies.
You know, we
One-
did. My wife ran a acting camp a number of years ago, and we did a pie fight silent movie. And we learned that you really need to clean up the whipped cream afterwards,
Oh, it's the stains terrible.
or the smell lasts for
Yeah.
months.
Like
Like
dead
we
musk.
couldn't
like-
get it out through the washing machine. The fermenting milk cream smell was there for months afterwards. It was the horrible. We had some stuff we just had to throw away because
We use
couldn't get
shaving
it clean.
cream. Shaving cream is smells good actually, but
Smells good, but not so palatable.
no, it's not palatable at all, and it's
Yeah.
not. It'll burn your eyes too. You got to be, you got to be careful of that stuff.
So it's kind of like 6 of one, half a dozen of the other,
Yeah.
13 of 12. Something
It's better
along
than
those
that
lines.
clam sandwich that Greg's eating.
I think you should try.
Although
it.
I've
It could
had
be
clam
good.
sandwiches, I just haven't had a clam parmesan one.
Oh yeah.
Clam makes for a pretty
Sure.
good sandwich, actually. Oysters,
Oh.
lobster, all those good sandwiches.
Remember when Curly was eating
yeah.
the clams? He trying to eat the soup, the clams, and they were spitting at him. The bowl. He had the hat on. Do you remember that?
I don't.
I think so much of my humor is derived from the humor of that era, and that's why I'm hated by many people.
You're
So,
hated?
yes.
Why?
Because the jokes are not fresh and clean and
You know
new.
what? There's nothing. I'll be real honest.
Yeah.
There's nothing fresh and clean about today's anything. To be honest with you, the movies, the music, and the performances and the movie, everything from our day, from the 60s and the 70s, and the music of the 80s will never be touched again. So
Well,
we
you
should
know,
be
there are,
thankful.
if you dig for it, there are a lot of actually very talented artists out there.
Well,
They're just
now,
not being promoted.
I wasn't bashing
Yeah.
today's talent. Not saying
No.
there's not talent. Not in the scope of how much talent in one time there was.
Oh,
There was
yeah.
just so many great talents.
Yeah, it was such a reaction to the time, though. It's like the 50s basically forced all of that talent out of those people.
Yeah,
You know,
absolutely.
because although there was a lot of good music in the 50s too, but it was just, you know, everything was changing. It was when the government started becoming very untrustworthy.
So the music's going to get really good again then, is that what you're saying?
I think it goes in cycles,
Good.
actually. I think
Yeah.
that will change. I think because, you know, I watch a channel on YouTube of these two college students, and
Mhm.
you know, at first I used to make fun of them because, you know, because I'm old and they're young, and so, but then I started really appreciating what they did. And what they do is they listen to classic rock songs
Right.
mostly, and they give their critiques of them, but they've never heard these songs before. So almost every time they're having this revelation when they come across a song that I've heard like a million times. And,
Right.
and then they give this very honest critique, and they generally are pretty spot on their points of view. You know, and I find that, and one of the guys, both of them are musicians too. So I saw them gravitating towards aspects of it where they go, yeah, I could utilize this in terms of the stuff that I'm doing. So I
Right.
can see that there will be probably in the next maybe 10, 15 years, hopefully sooner, there will be, I think, repercussions of the current auto-tune crap generally. I mean, not all of
Right.
it is, but a lot of it is.
Right.
Yeah.
Where people are going to go back to those roots of just making solid
kids-
music without all of the extraneous stuff. But
We're going to have
it's so
to-
easy for people to make
Today
music
have
on their
such
computers, you know.
access.
Yeah, so we're going to get Black
Kids today have
Sabbath
such
and Deep Purple back.
access.
We're going to be what?
Maybe Black Sabbath and Deep
Black
Purple
Sabbath,
might come
Deep
back, you
Purple.
say.
We need the old rock back, man. We need
Fine,
some
Well,
better
you
back.
know, we just interviewed a guy a few hours ago who was signed to a record label in LA. He's 30 years old, and he's
Mhm.
kind of bringing back 80s hair metal to a degree.
Oh, nice.
You
Nice.
know, so you
Send me
know,
his
there'll
link.
probably be a bunch of other guys like that out there.
Right.
You know, well, there'll be hair, and that tends to happen, I think, in music. They go back to things that worked in the past. There becomes a resurgence, because remember in the 90s where there was that resurgence of swing music?
Oh yeah.
You know, stuff
No.
from the freaking 20s and 30s came back in the 90s stuff from like Stray Cats, which is more rockabilly
Right.
from like the
Right.
50s.
Right.
But then Brian Setzer moved on to the Brian Setzer Orchestra, doing songs like Jump,
Yeah.
Jive, and Wail. And hell, David Lee Roth did Just the Gigolo, which is an old
Yep.
Louis Prima song, right? So
Nice.
I think that will happen. I don't know how prevalent it's going to be or how strong it'll last, but it's just a matter of people just getting tired of certain trends, more than likely.
I think the thing to be optimistic about is kids today, the past 15 years, have more access to more music. We never had that. Like, I read about bands for years and I never heard them. I couldn't find their album, but I'd read about them in Cream magazine or Rolling Stone. Oh, that sounds interesting. I'd like to hear that band. Couldn't hear it because I couldn't afford to buy the records. Kids today can listen to everything from rock's history, and hopefully they'll all be incorporating it into this beautiful goulash, if you will, or a sandwich,
if you will,
or a triple-decker sub of great sonic delights.
Well, my 19-year-old is a big fan of Pink Floyd, The Who, and Rush.
Beautiful.
And I've got a 24-year-old who knows more about Blue Oyster Cult and Judas Priest than I ever did.
Nice.
And then the one sandwich between them, my
sandwich,
the filling of that sandwich, listens to EDM and electro swing, and I hate that music. So it's like
he'll wise up, he'll learn.
No. I've tried. I've had him listen to Dio, and he just is not his thing.
No.
Exactly.
Curly, what was your favorite stuff? Curly, when you were a teenager, what was your favorite music? What were you into the most?
Well, he's 65. He's probably us, man.
The Stones and the Who and all that. I mean, that's still this day. I love that stuff. But I actually I got into in the 80s. I graduated high school in 83, and so of course the metal bands, Guns N' Roses and Van Halen and all that stuff, just dug it. Play the drums a little bit on the side, so that's my genre of choice when I jam with whoever I can. And I'm actually
that actually reminds me, because you're a good friend with like one of the founding drummers of Guns N' Roses, I think.
Steve Adler.
Yeah,
Steve Adler. Yeah, and that the good story about Steve Adler is when this was after my dad passed away in 1981. I moved from San Diego and I moved in with my mom to the Valley, San Fernando Valley, close to where I am now. And I didn't have any friends or anything, so I rented a drum set because I was trying to occupy my time since I didn't have any friends. And I didn't know what I was doing, and I got a knock on the door, and this long-haired kid's like, "Hey, my name's Steve. I heard you playing. Can I come check you out?" We became very good friends. He wound up living with us because he was living in the park because he got kicked out of his house. So we took him in and we became very close, and he showed me how to set up drums, but he hadn't been in an official band yet, but he kept saying day in and day out, "I'm going to be a rock and roll drummer. I'm going to be a rock and roll drummer." And so he'd get a job, he'd get a paycheck, he'd get fired, he'd buy his first cymbal, and he'd buy his first this. And my mom's like, "Stephen, you need to apply yourself. You can't be just doing this musician thing. Isn't going to work out." And he was just like, "No, I'm going to be a rock and roll drummer." And then sure enough, 6 months later, he tells my buddy and I that he's got a gig in Hollywood. And so we're like, "Well, that's cool." So we go, and then on the marquee, it's like Rat, Quiet Riot, and then featuring down the bottom, Guns N' Roses. And so this kid that had this dream and this set in his mind, I want to be, he did it. Now, granted, a year and a half later, 2 years later, he fucked it all up because he got messed up on drugs.
I heard that word. I heard the word you just used,
we
man.
censored that word.
I heard it.
It's the conviction that I'm telling in the story. I want every listener and everyone that's watching, if you want to be someone, you can be it. You just have to go for it.
And you can say fuck all you want.
Go for your dream.
Fuck all you want.
Even Greg can still go for his dream.
Yeah, well, Greg actually was in a touring band.
He was? Greg?
He was in the Weird Love Makers. I care.
I bring it up. Were those horses?
The Weird Love Makers.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, but I have no dreams left even to pursue. I have no dream.
You don't have a mother left either after what you said.
Yes, she has left you, as well as your siblings.
She can't hear it. My mom is she's kind of out of it. She's very old, so she'll never hear this.
So you're saying mean things about a mother who's not doing well.
Wow.
Yeah.
You're a horrible, horrible son, Greg.
Well, she shouldn't have been such a bitch. Just kidding.
I've heard you talking like glowing terms about your father, but then just this.
Oh, look at that.
This is Bobo.
Hey,
Say hi to Bo.
Bubbo
everybody.
G.
Bo
How could you name
G.
him
He's
Shemp?
the flying cat. Whee!
You should have named him Curly Joe.
Oh,
Curly
stinky.
Curly Joe.
They're getting hungry. It's almost their time to feed.
I think
I don't-
that we should let him go feed his cat sandwiches, Greg.
This has been a lot of fun.
Yes.
Well, I'm glad you
Kidney
enjoyed yourself. We
sandwiches.
really enjoyed
Yeah.
having you here too. Once we figured out
Yeah,
what our
this was,
individual
a lot of
rhythms
fun.
were.
Yeah, I think we did well. You need to tell all your clients, and especially the client today, that it was great representing him.
Like the sandwiches through the hourglass.
Oh, amazing! And you guys are terrific.
Yeah, I'm sorry you
Curly
couldn't
G, will you
meet
come
our
back
third
on
co-host
soon?
that couldn't be here because he's a good guy too, but he just couldn't make it today
Oh.
because of St. Patty's Day. But if you
Right.
have a project that's going to come up, or if you've got like some new content or something like that, feel free to get back in touch with us. Be happy to have you on again if you want to promote something.
Yeah,
Um,
you can grab all the photos you want and promote Curly G. I love it. More
Yeah.
people that get to get laughter in their life. That's what we need more than ever right now. So I'm
Yeah,
all
so
for
just
it.
remember, everybody, listen to this. He's doing this to basically get you interested in his grandfather's legacy. This isn't about him. This is about kind of spreading fun into the world because we could all use a bit more of that. So
Absolutely.
there you go. I got a little sappy at the end. Now we can change
Yeah.
it up and go, what the hell are you people doing here? Why am I talking to you?
Yeah.
Get out.
Get out
All
now.
right, guys.
Anyway,
Thank you so much.
thank you,
Okay.
man. I really appreciate you.
All right.
All right,
Ciao,
bye-bye.
All
guys.
right, Curly G.
Bye-bye.
Nice meeting you.
You
See
too.
ya.
Yeah. How do I turn these guys off? Ooh.
You've left the offices of Quibble, Squabble, and Bicker. It's over. It's over. It's time for you to go home. It's over. It's over. Go away now.